People who have worked at Goodwill or other thrift stores, etc., and processed donations, what's the craziest thing you've found? I had a mate who worked in one of the bigger Lifeline stores in Australia. A woman came into the store with 5 large clear plastic storage boxes and asked to donate them. He looked inside of the boxes and it was thousands of beautifully hand-painted Warhammer pieces. He was shocked and asked her why. They were her son's, and she couldn't keep them in the house anymore since his death. My friend said he couldn't accept the donation. He said the whole collection was worth a lot of money. She had no idea. He asked her for all of her details and asked if he could try to sell it for her. She agreed. After his shift, he went home and took pictures of everything and posted it online in an Australian Warhammer forum. Within a couple weeks, everything was sold. He called her and she met him at the store. He told her he had sold it to collectors all around Australia who loved her son's work. He handed her roughly $12,000. She cried. He cried. She offered him half. He said no. She told him she would donate his half to a suicide charity in her son's name and his name. He said it was the best thing he had ever done in his life. This made me feel something. That was a great story. I genuinely felt so excited for you. Truly one of the best short stories I've read on Reddit. I have to agree with the comments in this thread. This was a beautiful story to read, and if you know anything about me, you know that I love Goodwill, and to see that connected with Warhammer is definitely warming my heart. I hope these two kept in contact. A great start to my Warhammer experience. I just went to my Warhammer shop today, and it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. As someone who feels like they never fit in, I felt right at home there, to the point where I was mostly comfortable there in under an hour, where in most places it would have taken weeks or months. The manager there was incredible. He spent several hours going over Warhammer 40k with me and played a game with me, showed me how to paint, and just talked to me like a person. It made me feel so at home and welcomed, I almost teared up in the store. I bought a starter set, and I absolutely loved the game. It's so much fun, and so is painting and building my army. Can't wait to go again and purchase a few more Space Marines and some more paint to really make my army my own. This community, both on here and at my store, are so supportive and pleasant. I feel amazing just being around there. Thank you everyone on here for making Warhammer a supportive environment, and I will definitely be sticking around for a long, long time. If you have time, then send GWHQ a message praising this manager. Many people in retail feel overlooked simply due to amount of people they see, and this sort of customer service is often not recognized by higher ups. It's not something they see in the financial reports, which tends to reward pressure selling of key items, even if it's extremely valuable to the business. You can email them at uk.custserv@gwplc.com. Definitely do this. Honestly, the shop staff GW employ are fantastic. Took my kids into the Southampton store where I first got into the hobby. The fella picked up instantly that one of my lads is autistic and enthusiastically engaged with him, dancing around the table during a demo game, making the gun noises and the screams of dying models as they played. Wonderful human beings. Over here in the States, I went into a GW with my dad when I was about 8 to 10 years old. 26 now, and I remember the coolest employee basically walked my dad and I through a free trial game. I was Space Marines and my dad was Tyranids, and the whole time he was amazing at bringing the battle to life. I scored some wounds on some gaunts, and he was excitedly narrating like, "That's 1, 2, 3 wounds, green blood is now spraying everywhere." etc. And it's still a memory that's very warm to me, even to this day. Love the community. I was taught to play at age 13 by a manager called Ken. I still remember it. I was so excited that I managed to beat his Chaos Warriors with the Bretonnians, even though I'm sure the intro game was severely unbalanced on purpose. I made a lot of friends at Games Workshop in the 2000s, to the point of meeting up with one of the staff when I visited Finland, his home country, a few years later. It's a shame when I walk past now that the store is so empty. It used to be full on evenings with tournaments and events going on. This is what the hobby is all about. As someone who was introduced a decent number of people to the hobby, it is heartwarming to hear how many store managers still take the time to teach new and returning players how to play, paint, etc. Welcome to the hobby. Take your time and take it slow when it comes to buying new miniatures. Ask lots of questions and make sure that everyone around you is enjoying their time hobbying as much as you do. Warhammer is all about give and take when it comes to being helpful, kind, and social interactions in general. My Warhammer experience in elementary school. I just wanted to share a funny story. When I was in grade 6, a friend who had lots of money had a ton of Warhammer, and I couldn't afford any at the time. So he gave me his Skaven book, and during art class, I drew some rats with swords and blood and put something about crawling through the sewers, killing. Well, didn't the teacher take my drawings, show the principal, brought a school psychologist, and then both me and my friend got spoken to. We explained it was just a game and from Warhammer. They looked through the book and were even more disturbed. I switched to 40k and drew Space Marines, and I was fine after that. Then I got a job in grade 10 because I couldn't keep going to Games Workshop and keep asking for free figures to paint, and spent most of my high school earnings on Warhammer. The end. That was Wholesome Warhammer. If you like this content, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. If you have any stories, please feel free to email me. More information in the description down below. Thank you, and Papa bless.